Operator, owner, curate more time, clarity, and capacity. This is part 2. This is Mr. Cage, your friendly neighborhood program designer and program developer for potential, teaching kids to think before they do. Let's go through the formalities. I'm gonna check my live stream to ensure that we're streaming live on the book. Please make sure that you share. Oh, okay. There we go. Are you tired of feeling trapped in the daily operations of your business? Yeah, initially we were supposed to jump on at 6 p.m. Central Time, but we had to do some schedule adjustments. The people that registered for this experience will make sure to get it. We'll make sure to get it to you. We'll put it on the different platforms that we find ourselves on, and then we'll get it to you all directly as well. And we'll go, I'm thinking we'll go in this session to be probably 45 minutes to an hour tops. I'm gonna go ahead and share this in our different groups real quick, and then we will begin. Let's do a share. I'm sharing our Entrepreneurs United group. Hopefully the day is going well. So be patient with me as I share on these different platforms. I shared in the EU group, Entrepreneurs United private group. I'm sharing in our text group and in another platform or group me. Then we pop out and we'll get started. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I'll probably end up sharing this too in another group. All right, let's see. Um, all right, y'all, we're ready. Ready, 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 set. Let's go. Refresh my screen. We'll make some bold statements today in this session. We're going to make some bold statements. Yes, sir. I'm gonna make some bold statements today. Let's go screen share. I want you to type the word financial freedom. I want you to type the word financial freedom. Financial freedom. Please type the word financial financial freedom. Then what I want you to do is give me your definition of financial freedom. Give me your definition of financial freedom. This is an extremely important foundational brick, a foundational brick to start off our session this evening. Now, give me your definition of financial freedom. I got a couple thoughts to share associated with that. This session is specifically tailored towards entrepreneurs. You can be an aspiring entrepreneur. You can be a newbie, and you can be a veteran. Still applicable to us all. However, generally speaking, this session can cover a lot for all of us. We have to we have to incline our ear, have to open up our mentalities to be able to tap in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm excited. Yep. I'm excited about everything that we're going to discuss tonight or this evening. Preferably your week went well. If it didn't go well, I hope it gets better. Definitely. I asked you to type the word financial freedom, and I want you to give me your definition of financial freedom in the comment section. First keynote: how we define a term is directly associated with our mentality and experience in association with that term. Also, how we define a term can influence our life approach in association with that term. Being an educator of middle school, high school kids, young adults, and adults, what I found and discovered was that in most cases, when you ask a person to define a word, they're going to give you a definition. It may be from a Google search. It may be just out of their memory. It may be a chat GPT. Most people are going to define a term through their rhetoric. No, 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 no. We can define a term based on our rhetoric, based on a definition that maybe we memorized or a definition that we associated with that specific term. But the true essence, when we define a term, we associate our life experience with that term. So I ask you to give me your definition of financial freedom. This is extremely important. And also, what does financial freedom look like for your life on a daily basis? That's the definition that I look for when I ask a person to define that term. What exactly does it look like? Because too many times we lose retention because a term, a phrase, a concept has no life association with that term, phrase, or concept. We got to associate the three with an experience that we can see, that we can visualize, that uses one of the most powerful tools that we have internally at our disposal is our imagination. The root word in imagination is image. This is why meditation is extremely important because we meditate consciously and subconsciously, knowingly and unknowingly. My question is this: what are you meditating on? Who are you meditating on? Because who and what we meditate on will determine what our life looks like. It will determine the quality of our life. Going back to the statement or the question, what is financial freedom? Give me your definition of financial freedom, but also what does financial freedom look like for you? Because financial freedom can be defined, but it's going to look different. It's relative. It may not be exact based on the person, the group, the family, geographically, culturally. It may look vastly different. But we gotta get a definition in association with our life in order for us to walk into that definition. So we don't have a definition pertaining to what financial freedom looks like, it will run from us. It will elude us. It will escape us. It will go in the opposite direction because we haven't put any thought into it and what it looks like for our lives. Let me share my screen with you. This is an extremely important conversation because if, and this is, I'm saying if, because you may or may not desire this. So those that do desire to free up your time, this is extremely important that we start off with this foundational key. I absolutely love this definition by my buddy Peter. Peter, if you're watching, salute, salute. Shout out to you, my brother. Here we go. Financial freedom. This is the definition that I associate with. Financial freedom, it must be designed. Shout out to my apostle Stephen Moffat because he taught us long ago, spiritually speaking, either you live by default or you live by design. Design means that we are intentionally building. We are intentionally blueprinting. We blueprint and then we build from the blueprint. If we don't build from a blueprint that we have proactively and intentionally drawn, we will live by default. And default equates to status quo. It equates to mediocrity. It it results in living a normal life that is truly abnormal. Financial freedom must be designed. Let me read this, then I'll pull it back on the screen for us. According to my buddy Peter, your passive income, your passive income is greater than your living expenses. The reason why most people do not achieve financial freedom, which we usefully define as the point when your passive income per year annually either equals or exceeds your living expenses. So you no longer have to work for a living. Let me get the definition again because I had another that I wanted to share. The reason why most people do not achieve financial freedom, which we usefully define as the point your passive income exceeds, or is it equates to or exceeds your living expenses, so that you no longer have to work for a living. We'll go back to that in a second. Is that they spend their intellect, energy, efforts, and creativity in the direction of capital creation or refinement. Yep. And as a typo, they don't spend their time, intellect, energy, efforts, and creativity. Oh yeah, it was correct. Not in the direction of capital creation. What are we saying? In this definition of financial freedom means that passive income that has no need or does not warrant my physical presence or service involved in the disbursement or the distribution of a service or product. That's passive income. That value is there. It's exchange. Value is exchange for monetary compensation, cash, money. Does my passive income equate to or exceed my living expenses on an annual basis? That's a very challenging definition, but it is possible. The question is, what does it look like on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis? This objective cannot be attained if we are the primary operator in our businesses. If we're the sole operator in our businesses and we don't operate as an owner, this definition of financial freedom, and more importantly for me, time freedom, it's not obtainable. It is not obtainable. I want you to type this. If you're watching this, I want you to type spending versus investing. I want you to type spending versus investing. I want to get this to you because of when I saw that word spend. I want to redefine that for us based on one of my thoughts that one of my Facebook friends, Mr. Vita, shared with me years ago. Very, very profound. Very profound. I'm going to go right to it as well. Operator to owner, let's go. We here. Type spending versus investing. Spending versus investing. I'm going to give you this. Here we go. The question that you may be asking yourself, and you should ask yourself this question: is the person that I'm listening to? You should always ask yourself this question, especially in the age that we stand in as far as information age. The question that you should always ask yourself is this: if the person that I'm listening to, do they have a lived out experience in association with the material that they present to? You should always be asking yourself that question. The second question you should be always asking yourself in this information age is the person that I'm listening to in transition to what he or she speaks of? So either the individual has the results of the concepts or ideas, ideologies that he or she is sharing, or they're walking in that direction, meaning they have results associated with it. So they can have arrived at that outcome, or they could have accumulated several little wins on the journey of realizing what they're sharing with you. If those two, if when you ask yourself those two questions, if the answer is no, turn the channel. Spending versus investing. This is one of my from my Facebook friends, Miss Devita. I don't want to mispronounce her name. You spell her last name Ademuyiwa. Time is currency. Like money, some spend it and some invest it. Time is like money or currency. Well, we're going to say this. Time, listen to me, please. Time is not money and money is not time. Time is not money and money is not time. There was one point in my career where I subscribed to that notion. Thank you, God, that He's graduated me from that concept. Time is not money. Time and money, see, time and money, see, time and money are currency. They're currency. Yeah. A person, operator, owner, part two. A person will subscribe and say that time is money or money is time because their work is associated with their time and their time is attached to their money. They exchange money for time. That's the mentality that really comes from. So when thoughts come, especially cultural, I call them cultural cliches. You have to investigate those thoughts, those cliches, and find out where did this come from? Because if you integrate that or assimilate that or insert that into your lifestyle, it may produce a giant. It might produce a giant. Let me read this to you though. All right, time is currency. Remember, time and money is currency. Time is not money, and money is not time. Time is currency. Like money, some spend it and others invest it. Example, when you invest your time, you often create value that continues to produce value. When you invest your time, you often use it to create value that can keep on producing for you. For example, if you work a job, you save up money to invest, which is a seed to invest in property, passive income. Your time is invested. However, if all you do is work for a job, to a large extent, your time is spent as it may not be able to as it may not be able to produce value for you while you're not present. So spending versus investing. If I have a traditional 9 to 5, the money that I receive is a seed to be sown to continue to produce value for me when I'm not physically present. But if I, in another example, if I have a traditional job and I get money, which is seed, and I consume it, it's going to transform into a cycle where I'm going to transform into a prisoner of that job because I'm spending money on my priorities, responsibility, and bills. That is something to think about. That is something to consider. There is a difference between spending versus investing. So let me give you this, because I didn't know we was going to go this direction. Then we're going to go back to the financial freedom piece. And this is good because in order for this operator, the owner concept to manifest in our lives, we have to deal with our ideologies. We have to deal with our mentalities. We have to deal with and evaluate and assess, do I have the right mindset in order for this to manifest in my life? Because if we don't have the right mindset, it's not going to manifest. It's going to be a video that's going to frustrate you, or either you get, or either you're going to say, that ain't for me. This is a profound statement, especially with gas. With gas being the price that it is, all across the United States of America, this is probably one of the most important thoughts that's going to be submitted to you. Absolutely. Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the most important thoughts that's going to be submitted to you. I want you to type the word value, value, value. And this is a other piece of the thought that she was sharing with me years ago, probably over 10 years ago. It reads like this: because the value of money we have is constantly decreasing. If when you were employed about 5 years ago, you were paid $20 per hour, remember, per hour is in the cash flow quadrant. That's an employee. So you got employee, you got self-employed, you got business owner and investor. Remember, you have to ask yourself, what game am I playing? Yup. What game am I playing? Let me reread this. Because the value of money we have is constantly decreasing. If when you were employed about 5 years ago, you were being paid $20 per hour, and now you are still being paid $20 per hour, you will be receiving less for the same value you were employed to give as a result of inflation. 5 years later, your expertise should have developed over time so that you are probably given a lot more than you are being paid. When you go to work, you are supposed to be given value in exchange for value, value in exchange for value. Young people, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties, teachers, you care about the well being of your kids, your students, your nieces and nephews. Please share this with them. Don't be amazed in 2025 that you're making 20, 30, 40, or $50 per hour. Don't be amazed. The reason why I'm saying this to us is because we're not considering, we're looking at we look at, this is a keynote. We look at the dollar amount. We don't look at the value amount. What does that mean? The dollar amount, based on the state of the economy, determines how much you can get for what's in your hand. $20 in 1998 is not $20 in 2025. It is not. It's not the same value. It's the same dollar amount, but it's not the same value because now you get less for the same. $20 in 1998 versus $20 in 2025. Go to Walmart and see how much you can get. You may not get a whole lot, which lets us know that the buying power associated with that $20 is not the same as it was in 1998. How does that impact you? Don't get mystified and amazed by $20 per hour or 30 or 40 or 50. Number one, because you're exchanging time for money. So you either working in an employee quadrant or self-employed quadrant. Also, too, you have to have a niche. And with that niche, skill set and experience to differentiate yourself from individuals who just desire to do just enough. Just enough is not good in this economy. Those are some wisdom keys I don't want to give you. Let's go back to sharing. I'm gonna share my screen again. Nuggets, man. These are nuggets. These are nuggets, and these are nuggets that all support the position that I'm submitting to you is that you can't afford to be a solopreneur in today's economy. Absolutely not. You may be able to start there, but you should not remain, because in order to achieve financial freedom, which I would assume that's what everybody desires based on their own definition, and time freedom, it's not attainable there. Moving forward, freedom is an investment over a period of time that some of us not willing to make. The challenging question for my business owners is, why did you get into business? Because from me to you, the byproduct of me being involved in an entrepreneur venture or endeavor is time freedom, meaning that I have the ability to do what I want to do and still generate income without me being physically present. If I have to continually, if I if I as an entrepreneur have to be physically present to transfer value and generate income, I am not free. I am not free. Back to the screen share. Back to the screen share. The question is, why are we willing to make that investment? That's the question we had to ask ourselves. Moving forward, y'all. Moving forward. Mm. Yeah, this is a travesty to me, from me to you. Most times when we want to make more money, we work more hours. The key, the key to quote unquote making more money is to provide more value. And this is the question we had to ask ourselves. What does that mean? How do I provide more value? I'm gonna give you some wisdom keys. Remember, this is operator to owner. So in order to transition from the mindset of operator, meaning that I'm the sole proprietor, I'm the sole person in the business. In order to transition from that mindset, we have to ask ourselves these questions. But we got to ask ourselves the question of value. So let me tackle this other mentality that we have. I'm gonna tackle three mentalities. I'm gonna tackle making money. Why, when we want to make more money, we look for a job, and then I'm gonna tackle the other mentality of just transitioning. So number one, let's tackle this. Let's tackle this mentality. The mentality of making money. You may believe it's semantics. I'm gonna share with you that it's not. We don't make money. Our service or product is seen as valuable. We exchange service or products of value for monetary compensation. That's income generation. We generate income. We don't really make money. The mentality associated with make money is going to produce a person not looking at the service and product that they're providing, and is it of value to the customer, client, or consumer. When I'm generating income, I generate income, that's income coming in. That takes place based on me identifying what is important to the person or people that I'm serving. So if I want to make more money or generate additional income, I have to look for service. I have to look for two components. I have to look, well, three components. I have to look for a problem to solve. I have to look for the people that's associated with that problem to solve as well. And so the third one eluded me, but it'll come back if it need to. I have to look for a problem to solve. And the third one came back. I have to look for a problem to solve. I have to look for people associated with the problem. Then I have to identify is it important to them? Because when you think about value and importance, it's synonymous. If something is not important to me, then I don't value it. So it can be a tremendous product or service, but if I don't see how it fits for me, meaning that it has no importance, I'm not going to pay you for it. Especially in today's economy, because it's 2025. Gas is $4, $5. People go they're gonna hold that pocket tight. People are not gonna release. Most people, I would say, generally speaking, are not gonna release money from their hand in this economy because of the cost. The living is increased, so we're gonna be assessing and holding our pockets and penny pinching. That means that you have to reassess what you're doing. You have to reassess what you're doing. You have to reassess the landscape of the marketplace and make pivots and adjustments to make sure that you are providing quality service and quality product, or that you're refining your skill set and you can give people proof on how your skill set is being refined, meaning to make better. So it's not, if I want to make, quote unquote, make more money, I shouldn't be looking to work more hours. I should be looking to invest more hours in refining my skill set, i.e., service or product. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We should be looking to provide more value. So, how, as a business owner, do I provide more value? Type this, please. A question. Ask a question. Ask a question. Thank you for the heart, whoever shared the heart. Ask a question. To make more money, you don't need to work more hours. To make more money in this economy, you don't need to work more hours. You need to ask more questions. To make more money in this economy that we stand in, you don't work more hours. You ask more questions. This is why questionnaires are important. This is why surveys are important. These are data collectors that we gather, we interpret, we make pivots, and we improve our services, our products, our processes, our procedures, our policies because of what the end user is saying, what the end user experience is in association with our service or product. So if you want to make more money, quote unquote, don't work more hours, ask more questions. And when you ask more questions, business owners, you will find that your processes need to be assessed and refined. We're talking about systems now. We're talking about building. In order to build a state-of-the-art system, for lack of better words, you have to continually survey the people that you serve and discover what needs to be improved. Yes, sir. Screen share once again. Um, trying to move some stuff up. Let me stop this share because I can't. I'm trying to get it together, y'all, to the best of my ability. So we need to go down here. Oh, here we go. Business owners. Let's go. Let's go, my people. So I want to go to the next slide. I'm gonna let you soak that in for one moment. Excuse me. Yeah. Operator to owner. Owning and running a business is not truly freedom, as many entrepreneurs have taken on business ventures that force them to work harder in a traditional sense and longer. When we talk about ownership in this specific context, we're speaking about ownership as far as the documentation that you are associated with the business. You will be considered as an owner in that context. But the question is, in order to truly own a business, you have to own the system. You can't really own a business in this dimension that I'm sharing with you by being self-employed. Absolutely not. In order to truly transition from operator to owner, you have to own the systems in association with that business, which the systems can operate without you being there. If not, freedom, freedom, freedom will hide from you. Owning and running a business is truly not freedom, as many entrepreneurs have taken on business ventures that force them to work harder and longer. And this is what I will say to this. It's the business venture, but it's how they approach it. It's how they approach it. It's how they approach the business venture, which makes them work harder and longer. Now, is there a upfront investment of time to build a system? Absolutely. But the upfront investment of time frees you long term versus me not investing in a system, me not investing in collecting and curating this mechanism. It's going to result in me being there every day consistently. Yeah. You can't duplicate yourself that way. We finishing out. This has been an awesome session. Let me check for time. Let me do a time check, y'all. Oh, okay. 40 some odd minutes. This is good. I want you to type this word for me. Productize. Productize. Productize is spelled Productize. 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 Productize, good people. Productize. Productize. Owning and running a business is not truly freedom, as many entrepreneurs have taken on business ventures that force them. The mentality associated with the mentality really associated with the business venture has forced them to work harder. Let me pause here. Work harder. Verb. We find pride, validation in working hard. But we find ourselves as operators on a hamster wheel of a system that we don't own. So we're looking for a pat on the back, or we're looking for a saying good job. Let's move past that. We have to move past that to move into a dimension of freedom. Owning and running a business is truly not freedom, as many entrepreneurs have taken on business ventures that result in work harder because of the mentality that they have when they approach the business venture. The question is why? Why is this taking place? Because they have yet to productize the services that they provide. You have to productize the service that you provide in order to position yourselves not to work harder and longer hours. Work as far as verb. When I'm saying work, I'm saying the verb tense, the verb expression of the word work. Some entrepreneurs have written the story is associated with the business plan, but they have yet to document the blueprint. The blueprint is the daily operations because they are infatuated with building houses. Yeah, some entrepreneurs have written the story, the business plan, but they have yet to document the daily processes, which is the blueprint because they're infatuated with building houses. I'm infatuated with being there every day and providing the service associated with product exchange. I'm infatuated with that. But when I get infatuated with that, then I can never move past that. As you advance in your career development, you have to, well, I can't say you have to. It will be nice that you have invested so much time in providing this service and creating this product that you've reached a dimension of mastery to where you can train others. Duplication is the standard. Duplication is the standard, but we can't duplicate ourselves. We can't duplicate our businesses if we don't take the time to document the daily processes, the daily operations, which we call blueprinting. Blueprinting is important. Yep. While some of us are building houses because our infatuation, which is really a sense of control, while some are building houses, others are documenting blueprints so others can build. And I'll remix that statement. While some are building houses mean that I am on the frontline level providing a service. You have others who are documenting their blueprints. You document your blueprint for duplication so others can build, others can provide the service. So you got building, you have documenting, and when you build hands on, you have to build from a blueprint. That's important. Let me emphasize that. You could have started your business for whatever reason, but eventually you have to get a blueprint in place. Now, the blueprint can be considered as the business plan, but the other expression of the blueprint is the implementation plan, because you can have a business plan associated with a narrative, but then the other one of the segments of a business plan needs to be an implementation plan. Then that implementation plan drills down to your daily operations. What do the daily operations look like? You got the daily operations, you got an implementation plan that's flowing from a business plan. So these are all different blueprints, but the business plan is a blueprint, that's a narrative. The implementation plan is coupled or housed within the business plan, but your daily operations is something that's separate. Your daily operations is not necessarily going to be in your business plan. It may be in your training manual or orientation. Well, it's not going to be in your orientation packet, but it is going to be in association with your overall business if you decide to make one, which is extremely important because if you don't have the blueprint in terms of daily operations, you can't duplicate. And then you find yourself stuck. You find yourself stuck. It's a tremendous sacrifice to take yourself out of the equation, or it's a tremendous sacrifice to come home on a daily basis and document what you've done. It's worth it though. It's worth it though because you can duplicate. All right, let's finish this out. I don't think there's anything else for me to share. I may share some questions with you. There's probably some things I didn't get to last week, but let me see if it's worth it for sharing. No, I think that we could. I think that we are good. Talked about intellectual property. Yeah. Yeah. So the 30-day question that I will leave you with is, if you had to step away from your business for 30 days, would it still operate smoothly without you? The answer is no. The breakdown reveals the first system that you need to build. And so I give you a bonus as we close out, and I'm gonna be real general with this. Yeah, I'm gonna be real general with this. I'm gonna make an assumption, but let me see what the time is concerning this. Ooh wee, get ready. Yeah, get ready, my people. Mm, your business is stuck in your head. When systems live in memory, growth gets heavy and becomes burdensome because everything depends on you. Tasks keep repeating, delegation is hard, and growth stays inconsistent. This is what we don't want. But I want to talk about one aspect. I want to talk about one aspect. I want to talk about one aspect. I want to talk about lead generation real quick, and I'm gonna give you an example of a. Let me see. I don't know if I want to show you this workflow or something else. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna give you this workflow chart real quick. But before I give you that, this is what I'm gonna say. Generally speaking, in my professional opinion and perspective, is that most entrepreneurs don't have a lead generation system. They don't have an automated lead generation system. We do a lot of marketing, which is good. We do a lot of word of mouth, which is good. But when you have a lead generation system in place, you have to be ready for the level of work that's going to come to you. This is one reason why our businesses stay small, because we don't have a lead generation. Because when you have a lead generation, leads are continually coming throughout the system without you being physically present, without you marketing. Yeah, without you marketing. That it is a form of advertising associated with it. But when I say marketing, I mean in terms of putting out social media posts. If you putting out social media posts and those posts are successful as far as you attracting clients, and then you are converting those clients, then you should be documenting that process. Yeah. I mean, but I'm emphasizing that we lack automatic lead generation systems because that's problematic. That's problematic. Let me share this last piece with you. Let me share this workflow with you. Workflow chart. Workflow. Workflow chart. Check it out now. Workflow chart means, let me stop this because I got to tell you this. A workflow chart is an illustration or depiction of how the workflow is. Remember, we have to redefine work. Work can be considered as a noun and a verb. See, we associated with the verb, we associated with the doing of work, not the producing of work. But when you have a workflow chart, which I'm getting ready to show you, it's an illustration on how the processes flow and how those processes are interconnected with one another to produce an outcome. This, what I'm getting ready to show you, is a product. It's a product. It's work as it relates to the noun, person, place, and this aspect is a thing. Share it with you in my highlight. Not too much, but enough for takeaways. So this is our youth certification recruitment and screening workflow chart. The interview is the final confirmation step, not the first filter. So with potential teaching kids to think before they do, we had to come back to the drawing board and look at our processes again and identify standard operating procedures that we can put in place to conserve more time, which equates to us having a higher quality of applicants. So everybody just not going to apply because we have to put in different. I want to use the word benchmarks, but I don't really want to use that words. Where we had to put in different checks and balances to ensure that we were getting high quality applicants. As you can see, lead sources. This is lead generation. You got Indeed, you got LinkedIn, you got Idealist, you got Handshake, you got MetaLead ads, Eventbrite, referrals, and info sessions. Our number one lead source generation tool is Indeed. Number two is LinkedIn. We don't use any of those others because we didn't need to. And then step two is a written application. Applicants complete the application with care and accuracy. Then we review it. We review the application for completeness, clarity, mission, and alignment, and baseline readiness. We can either go, okay, decline or yes. It's a video submission. Applicant submits a short video introducing themselves, video review. We evaluate communication professionalism, maturity, and you fit. So these three checkpoints, we can either say yes or no when we go through this process. Readiness checkpoint. We confirm commitment agreement and practical readiness. Then we have the final interview, structure interview, finalist interview, 15 to 20 minutes. In reality, it can last up to 30 at tops. Same questions for every candidate. The scoring system, 30 or more, green. 24 to 29, yellow. Below 24, decline. Final decision, we make the final decision based on the interview score, readiness, and mission fit. Then accepted candidates complete onboard and begin their certification journey. None of these processes had anything to do with how we feel. We have to score each person, which brings equity to the whole process itself. This is what I'm talking about when you have work in place that removes your physical presence and being involved in the work itself. Absolutely. Most appreciated. Most appreciated to the people that watch this live, that'll watch it. I'm part of the recording. This is Mr. Cage. Woo! Training and development specialist, program manager, and designer. This was operator to owner part 2. If it's something that you want to be involved in, you want us to work with you and take you through this process to free you up, this is what you have to do. You have to text owner to 773-599-1133. And once we receive that, we'll connect with you and book a discovery call to see how can we how we can assist. Thank you much. Enjoy your evening and enjoy the entirety of your weekend. And as always, be great at what you do. But of course, I want you to be greater at who you are.